Hello, you're welcome on the Conversation Show with myself, Adeoye Benjamin, on Ladies in Check. And today on the show, we'll be having a conversation on a very amazing topic, Dubai, a template for African growth. Amazingly, UAE is one of the fastest growing economy in the world, with the economic growth rate of 10.7% annually. Is that not amazing? Yes, it is. And Dubai, following up with a good city reformation with the brilliant ideas that's been engineered in the economic growth. We'll be talking extensively with amazing people on the show with me today. So joining me on the show today is amazing, great, amazing man. And I will start from my left-hand side, in person of Mustafa Hamadani. Do I pronounce it right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
He's a business entrepreneur, and he will be joining us on the show today to evaluate together the template for African growth, Dubai. And next out to him is an amazing friend, and he will be doing justice to the show today. And his name is Abdul Razak Jakub. Is an entrepreneur. Thank you for joining us on the show today. All right, we'll go on a quick break, and when we are back, we'll be going to the conversation at large. Thank you. Stay with us. Yeah, Mr. Mustafa, how are you doing today?
Thank you so much, man, for having us in your show. It's such an honor. I really appreciate it.
All right.
I think we're all doing well.
Yeah, good to have you on the show. Mr. Jakub, how are you doing, sir?
Thank you very much for bringing me to the show. And for me, it's like a privilege for me to be in your show. I'm so happy to be here.
Wow, that's amazing. All right. I will start with this. Going well so far. Mr. Mustafa, year in, year out, you've had quite a stay over there in Dubai for a while, right? I would like you to share that on the opinion with us, your previous knowledge, living around the city of Dubai.
Speaking, living in Dubai, like when you tell people that you've been in Dubai, you lived in Dubai, everyone just go, wow, And me myself, past 14 years, I lived and worked in Dubai. Starting my life in Dubai, is not easy for everyone. Either you have to go with the big money in there, or you have to go with nothing and build yourself. Which I started the same way. Past 14 years since I joined there, I moved there. Basically, I moved from Afghanistan. Because we were working with NATO, since 2001 in mission of Afghanistan. When the NATO and the United Nations
we
went there. So we started a family business, and trying to build a relationship, and provide whatever the military, the government, the United Nations they needed. So we built an office in Dubai, and me myself I moved there. And since then, I started to, providing, the services to the military.
In Dubai?
In Dubai. From Dubai, basically, because when we're talking about NATO, we're talking about 72
countries coming together.
Exactly, coming together, and 72 nationalities. 72 different, taste of everything,
In global
and the needs of the, their staying in Afghanistan, because every 6 months used to be, a change of 15,000 soldiers, basically in the airport and the military base as well. And
now, when you're saying supplying the soldiers, you're talking about like a civil consultant.
Basically everything from A to Z.
Oh, okay.
Because back before 2001, Afghanistan wasn't really a country who can produce things, like materials or anything. So they are dependent on outside resources, overseas, and in order to supply them, you have to take it from outside. And where is better than Dubai? The hub.
Wow.
Of the business, basically the Hong Kong of the Middle East.
Wow. Now, we will still go in there very well. Before we go deeply, I just want to have a taste of your experience, living in Dubai for 14 years. That's amazing. Yes. Well, okay, Mr. Jakub, growing up in Africa and being in Nigeria, so I would like you to share with us what does it look like growing in such an economy in Africa?
Yeah. I'm this kind of person when this world, African economy comes so much here. Sometimes it makes me feel so bad and so much anger in such a way that In Africa, we don't have leaders. Africa, we don't have leaders. We have rulers.
Rulers, not leaders.
Because if we have leaders in Africa, Africa economy would have been one of the best in the world. Why I say that in the sense that Africa have all the resources when it comes to economy. All the natural resources we have that in Africa. That resources in Africa, you know. What I'm saying, why sometimes when someone asks me about Africa economy, I got angry. I send that anger to the government of Africa. Because I do that in such a way that they have all it takes to make Africa economy be the best in the whole world. Because when you look at Africa, most of the things being used in the Europe countries, the Americans, they all come from Africa.
Wow. Okay. Now I can see you are really in the mood to actually go into this. Okay, we'll still coming there. Let's start with this now. Now it's quite evident that Dubai economy, UAE as a country at large, they are doing fine economically. So I would like a proper evaluation. I will start with you. So what do you think Dubai economy is doing? I mean UAE economy is doing that African economy are not looking into, that's actually helping them to sustain their economy with this level of growth?
Well, that's a really good question, you know, like, first of all, you know, like, I would like to say UAE itself, you know, is a small country, you know, and the location of the country is in a very, very key location in the Middle East, you know. From every side, you have access to everywhere you want, from the east to west, you know, to north to the south, everywhere. And also, what UAE done, you know, it goes back to 1966, you know, the discovery of the oil, and then went to the union that they made. You know, after the Britons, you know, left the Persian Gulf, you know, like in 1971, if I'm not mistaken, you know.
Yeah, the colony era.
Exactly, and with the intention, you know, they had it, you know, in 1968, you know, that to join all the Emirates together with the power of, you know, like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So basically, they did a really great job, you know, like they discovered the oil, and then, you know, like when the first shipment of the oil went out, you know, like Dubai find himself in a very great future. But that's not in here because Dubai itself, you know, like takes a very small percentage of the oil, and they knew that, you know, like the oil is not gonna stay forever, you know. So what they did, you know, because of the location that they have geographically, you know, they came out with the free zone areas, you know, in Dubai. They built a city called Free Zone, you know, and the benefit they give is tax benefits.
Tax benefits.
Tax benefit. This is one thing that, you know, I believe the most of the companies, you know, like in the West, you know, like because they're all running away from the tax, from the.
They don't want to pay tax.
No, exactly, or from the Asia also, you know, like. I believe, you know, there was a time, you know, like there are most of the companies from Hong Kong, they moved to Dubai because of tax, because of the free zone, because of the area, because everything coming from the east to the Middle East and the West. We know China, great powerful country, you know, with the mass
something to exploit.
Exactly, and so they came up, you know, and they gave, you know, the facilities and the opportunities for everyone to be looking, you know, like we know everyone looking for a place, for a country where they don't need to pay tax, so they give it to them. This is how, you know, they grow their business, and the decision that they made, you know, the UAE leaderships, they made a really good connection with the Western world. They give them the facility, especially in 2003, you know, invasion of Iraq. Jebel Ali Port used to be a base for refueling, you know, for all the what you call it? I forgot the word. the refueling bases, for the war was happening in Iraq, in Afghanistan.
Okay, the supplies. Okay.
Yeah, the supplies, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. The supplies. They opened the free zone, and after the success of development of the free zone, they come up with different free zones, with the internet and media. Now you see most of the, big companies like Google, IBM, Facebook, and media companies like NBC, CNN, BBC, and everyone, they're all in Dubai. They have headquarters in Dubai. So, because they don't pay tax, the ownership, that they're giving to them, they're giving something that they needed, and this, helped them. Help them, like the most of the companies and most of the investor and then the people who are
wait.
for the getaway.
Are you saying the free zone is tax-free?
Tax-free, completely tax-free.
Operationally,
Yes,
with any business investment?
any business,
Quite amazing.
any business, you pay 0% tax.
Oh, and do you think these are one of the contributions to the economic growth in Dubai?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm still coming back to you. Let me go to Mr. Razak now. There is a viral video, there's a video that went viral a few months ago about a man. He's a journalist from Nigeria that actually ran an interview for a man living in Dubai, a man from UAE. And he asked him, okay, what are the reasons, what are the main cause of this economic growth that Dubai has become a luxurious environment people would like to come into? And the man said, wait, Nigerian discover oil before Dubai. Yeah. We have more natural and mineral resources. Our problem is bad leadership. I would like you to react to that with that opinion of the man from UAE. Do you think bad leadership is one of the main cause of our economic leakages? Do you think while we are still way back in Africa is due to lack of good leadership? I want you to do justice to that.
Yeah, that very man was 100% right. What he said was 100% right. Because in Nigeria, oil was discovered in Nigeria before Dubai discovered it. Dubai discovered the oil in 1966.
1966,
yeah. But they started exporting it out. That was 1960 something.
69.
They tried to make use of the little they explored first to develop the country a little bit. But they started selling out. But in the case of Nigeria or in Africa, Nigeria is like a country where Nigeria has it's a bottle of water in Nigeria. Nigeria government don't mind to sell 99% of this water out, then keep the 1% to its
citizen.
The citizen to make use of, which is very wrong. So when you sell that 99% of this water out for money, you bring this money back, you don't use it for development of the country, rather they all put it in their pockets.
That's self-enrichment.
Self-enrichment. That is corruption.
Abstract one.
Yeah. And secondly, there's no accountability of government in Nigeria.
Accountability.
We lack it in Nigeria.
Accountability of governance.
And you do mention something about Dubai free zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Africa government can come to that idea to have a free zone in Africa, Africa will be the best, the world best economy.
Oh, let me chip in this now before you go further, sir. Now, talking about that free zone, you're talking about a free tax environment. Do you think that African as a territory generally, people don't like the word tax? They believe that word is used to exploit them of their own personal resources. Do you think that won't actually crushed our economy totally?
No, it will not crush our economy. If the leaders we have can actually make use of what they have before they can declare Africa a free zone.
Redistributions.
How would they do that? Like in Dubai, how Dubai make it a free zone? Dubai use what they have to create ports, like make port, but the seaport to connect Africa's Asian, Europe countries.
Tourism centers, yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to take something from Africa to Asia and I might pass it through Dubai. They'll pass through, just like what this president is trying to do.
Wow, yeah.
He's trying to make a tunnel, like a seaport from Turkey to Africa to Europe.
Yeah, they make international trade seamless, yeah.
If that man succeeds that, Turkey is going to make a lot of money for there. Because any ship coming from Africa to Europe has to transit here.
Yes, of course.
If you don't open the route, it will not pass.
And they will pay port duties.
Yeah. So I suggest this from African leader to at least have that reasoning of Dubai, that free zone. If that free zone is created in Africa, because when you check Africa, how many seaports do we have? How many of them are functioning very well? But there are a lot of money coming from there. You understand? Because I read the news, I don't know, like last week, Nigeria seaport in Lagos, was given that in a month they make about $300 million, which totally lies.
You think
they make more than that?
They make more than that. Wow.
Because we don't have accountability, no true leadership. Everybody wants to enrich him or herself. You understand? I have a lot of friends that work in that sector, so if I need information, I do call them.
Okay, can we trace that back to the top level governance at the presidential level, or the appointees? Because if there is a negligence at a particular ministry or a particular office, everything, the fault goes back to the presidency, because I believe every port is controlled by the federal government in Nigeria. So should we say that it's a deficiency from the federal role, the appointees that were appointed to that particular position?
Actually, I love that question. Just bring my attention to. Fine. Every ministry in Nigeria give an account to the federal government.
Yes.
That is the presidency. And that is why I made sure earlier on we have rulers, we don't have leaders. If Africa have leaders, they will always give ear. They will listen to every statement, every words that come from the citizen.
They will take it serious.
Yeah. Because they don't listen to what people are saying outside. What the citizens are saying, they felt maybe they're just rapping, blah blah blah. I don't know what they're saying, but we know what we are doing. You understand? So at the time, I stopped putting this blame on leaders. You know why? Because there is this book I read. This what is it called?
48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
And I read that book. I think I read that for more than 2-3 years.
That was a powerful book
to read it. So I find that most of the world leaders, they all follow that law to deal with the citizen. So it takes few leaders to have that love of citizen at heart. That's what Dubai had.
Okay, I will hold on you there. Like,
let me just finish. Please.
Okay.
Like in Dubai, this oil was discovered in Abu Dhabi, not in Dubai.
Yeah.
Dubai major occupation was fishing.
That's true.
Fishing was the major occupation in Dubai. So it was discovered in Abu Dhabi. Then Abu Dhabi used that money to put some things in place. Because if you look back like 10 to 50 years ago, and sometimes when I hear that word Dubai, what always comes to my mind is tallest, biggest, largest, everything there.
Just tourism.
Tallest, largest. Like Africa cannot get this kind of ideas and use it back home, because our leaders travels every day. When you go to Dubai, you see some when maybe like this belongs to an African leader, maybe like a president of somewhere, the son of social president has this. But when you check, have you ever go to any country, you find out I say this house belongs to the ruler of Dubai? No. They make use of everything they have, they make use of it. Because if I can remember this place I read that I think Dubai they took loan once. They took loan when they about discovered that oil. I think they took loan. They got an independence from British. I remember.
Yeah.
That was 1971. And they took loan from there. Since then, they never took any loan from any country.
So they actually walk around their own resource.
Walk around everything they own.
Wow.
So those are the things I felt.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Mustafa. Yeah. It made these something mandatory to actually grow future national leaders so they can sustain the economic growth while they were alive and when they will be gone. So I believe he developed this process to sustain the economic stability. Now, I would like to ask you this question. Why do you think African countries may fail to have such developmental programs? Or do you think such program may not thrive in African region, or will it thrive?
Well, the thing is here, if they don't try, they won't see the result. You know, if they don't have the right scheme, you know, for the future development leaders in Africa. You know, I mean, right now we have so many problems, so many issues, so many, you know, like a glitch in the system that I think, you know, like that should be the first priority to be fixed in African country. I mean, like me as a person, you know, I don't have much knowledge about, you know, African economy, you know, Nigeria economy or any other African countries, you know. But from the news, what I see, you know, from the internet, you know, the articles that I read, you know, like there are way more than, you know, like making a scheme, you know, for the youth, you know, like for the future leaders, you know. Right now we have global hunger in Africa. You know, like that's the first thing that has to be, you know, done, you know. And then, you know, like in order to fix that one, you know, you have to provide job, you know. But when the government, you know, the leaders, the system is not listening to do, how are you gonna fix this one? You know, everything is connecting to each other, you know, like, but not solving one, you know, you cannot solve the other.
It won't go to the next stage,
you know. So all this problem has to be fixed first. You know?
Well,
global hunger has to be done. You know, the work, you know, like you have to provide job, you know, making opportunities, you know, for everyone, you know.
Infrastructures.
For the educations, you know, like, and the university, everything. It's possible. I mean, like, there's nothing impossible, you know, like UAE did it from the dust to the tallest thing in the world. Why Africa can't do it? They can do it, but first, all these things has to be solved. And then they can come up, you know, with the future leadership, you know, like, and of course, you know, like with the current leadership that has been going on, you know, like all these problems coming from the same leadership. So I think there has to be change, you know, from the core, from the top. So someone, you know, like who is already, you know, like knows, you know, like the problem, what is the exact problem, and is like willing to go, you know, like for people, for the locals. And then they can do it.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, thank you for that. I was watching one of the whole interview of the Prime Minister, the ruler of Dubai, when he visited Afghanistans in the trying times in Afghanistan. And one of the things he made mention was like, if the leaders failed to change their policies, the people will change them. Now, this will leave me with a question to you, Mr. Yakub. Like, do you think our current leaders, with the current policy economically, they do have the systemized scheme to actually grow our economy, or we need to wait for them to leave before things can change?
Yeah, our current leaders, they cannot do that. No, I said they can't do that because the economic team they are appointing, they are not that intellectual for when it comes to economy. Those who have that knowledge, have that capability to make the economy work, they don't give them opportunities. So they give appointment to those who they can control, like just yeah. That's what I want you to do to me. Just do it to me. Everything will be okay. But when you appoint someone who knows what it takes for an economy of a country to move forward, like become the best, like boom, you understand? Africa leaders don't do that. They don't have that team. Fine, Africa will have people who have that knowledge of making every economy in Africa work. I know there's this man, something something I can't remember his other name.
Ridwan as a hope for.
I think it was a
Oh yeah, I think it was yeah.
About the Lagos economy, how it was then really the kind of need to run Nigeria economy or to run. We have a lot of
now to actually when he made mention like Seychelles, as a case study, they actually welcome the leaders of Dubai to grow their economy, and it's evident like everybody wants to go to Seychelles now because of the attraction centers, the way it has been beautified, and Seychelles, they are making money. I actually wanted to go to Seychelles too, but however it may be, I want to come in from Mr. Yakub's opinion. Like, you think one of the hidden agenda of multinational business or international community is to come and exploit us in the way maybe they make it seamless, like they are helping, or the other way around, they are actually stealing from us. And do you think they can actually help African economy grow without having like personal benefit?
I don't think they can help Africa.
Okay, now, how possible this is for international communities to come and empower another country without a hidden agenda? Don't you think there might be an hidden agenda to exploit them of their own resources?
Can you make me through that question, because I quite don't know.
All right, the question is now, international communities, like international countries, expatriate other country that you actually made mention, like African countries will need to come and invest in Africa. And well, one of the things we're taught in school is like multinational business and investors always have an hidden agenda that it will never be in the black and white in the book. So don't you think, to negate what I'm saying, like international communities, countries like Dubai or other countries that may like to invest in countries in Africa, do you think there might be some hidden agenda that has to do with exploitation of resources? They can make it work. Yes, but produce from African countries now in overseas, they see it as substandard product, and they don't really patronize our own produce. And African countries actually...
Our leaders are not making, they are not proud of the products from their country.
Okay, Mr. Yakub, Mr. Mustafa, yeah, thanks for joining me on the show today. Good times ahead. I will be glad to have you guys on the show sooner to actually go in more economically into matters that concerns nations and our African growth, even at the global level. All right, thanks for joining us on the show today. We'll be going to commercial break now. When we are back, we'll be going to the next show for the day. Stay tuned, don't change that, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Leaders in Check, and to follow us on all social media platforms at Leaders in Check. And to the camera crew from the DOPs, and we appreciate our amazing job. Well done, and see you guys on the other side. Yeah, bye.